Um, my grandfather's a Pearl Harbor survivor. He went in when he was 16. He was supposed to be 17. My brother went in the Marines. My other brother went Army. What made me go in was I think it's called the E-2 Hawkeye, that plane. The aircraft that has the big dome on the top of it. I think it's an E-2. Can't remember. But where I lived in Miramar Mesa, I could see it. And I was like, I want to work on those. So that's what made me want to go. I was in sixth grade, and I was like, I'm going to the Navy. I ended up working on F-14s and F-18s. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Before I got out of the Navy, I started having problems with my sleeping. Um, I was depressed. It was rough. And as time went by, it made things worse and even triggered some more things that were happening in the Navy. And it got to the point where I wouldn't sleep at all. I wouldn't sleep, and I was concerned about. I would get up and lock the door all the time. I hear doorbells ringing in the middle of the night. I don't know what the heck that was. There'd be nobody at the door.
I didn't even meet her at first. I just got the intake and I was like, oh, okay, traffic tickets. And then I looked it up and there were like 2 in San Diego and like 6 in LA. And so we recruited pro bono counsel to help out because that would be a lot of court visits. So then we got Jonathan to help out. That's how it happened.
He's a nice guy, like
My name's Jonathan Weisberg. I'm an attorney. I have a private practice. I do a variety of work, primarily family law type issues. I was in court 2 different places with her, 3 or 4 times, visits total. And one judge was very sympathetic. The other judge was sort of tougher. But she, is a very appealing person. And she's standing there. She's very nervous. She was shaking in court at one point. But the judges seemed to understand that, and it was about communicating this to the judge. I went up to the clerk to hand in my motion. Then she said to me while she was looking through the things, "Did you know your client had a hit and run? One of these was a hit and run." And I said, "Well, no. I mean, we have the list of what they actually are." She said, "Well, it is." I said, "No, it isn't." And she said, "Oh, well, okay," and sort of went back, and I was very anxious at this point, but I went through and reviewed what I had. There's no hit and run here. And meanwhile, my client was sitting in the court, Audra, and it was sitting too long, and it was a lot busier. This courtroom was smaller and a lot more people on it, and she was getting incredibly anxious. And I went and talked to her. In addition to the pain of sitting in one place, she was really getting claustrophobic, agoraphobic. Well, it's a bit of both, actually. We went outside and eventually was told, okay, we'll handle you last. So they went through everything else, and I talked to Audra, and Audra was very anxious, and she was having a panic attack, and which is very understandable because she had seen the clerk being kind of rough to me. And it had a gift certificate for frozen yogurt at I forget which place, but we got out and we got 2 tickets dismissed. We got a gift certificate for some frozen yogurt and $50 refunded. So she ran a $50 profit on her court date.
What do you think the impact was for her?
Well, I think part of it is having a burden lifted from her shoulders. When you have a lot of money that's owed, you aren't sure what to do with any possibility of getting new income. It's going to prevent you from it's going to prevent you from being able to invest or save money that you're going to get, and it also means that you can't drive. And not being able to drive is a huge issue, obviously, when we live in Los Angeles. She had gone from the military to working to a bad relationship, to being homeless, to living in veterans housing, and now she had gotten to the point where she had her own apartment with her son. And this was part of being able to re-enter society with a clean slate for her.
Ooh, working with him was good. It was cool. I'm still not a big fan of the legal system because there's so many little dips and dodges in it that is not fair to people. So that just makes it that much harder to trust it. You know, when you have somebody there in your corner to back you up, if things go well, that's fine. But you know that it doesn't always happen that way, or you know, you can get on your feet with one thing and something else can happen. You know, so it needs work. The legal system needs a lot of work. They need to think about people that can't afford things.